A lot has happened over the last 30 years, from the Human Genome Project in 1984, then the Personal Genome Project in 2005, which you actually played a significant role in both of those. What are the importance of those studies?
The most important one is kind of the project in between those, which is technology development called next generation sequencing, which brought down the price from $3 billion to $300, which is getting close to the point where everybody can afford it. Almost all of medical research depends on those genome sequences. The biggest secret sauce is the concept of molecular multiplexing. That's the main reason that these methods are 10 million times cheaper than they used to be and 100,000 times more accurate. And in the molecular multiplexing, you have a droplet of water, and that droplet normally contains one kind of molecule, and you process it at great expense. But now, with multiplexing, you can put in millions or billions of different kinds of molecules in that same droplet because the molecules don't take up much space. It's mostly water anyway. And they're all barcode tagged, and boom, now it's 10 million times cheaper just because there are 10 million molecules in that same droplet. So the same instrument is being used, the same reagents are being used, the same hundreds of steps each droplet goes through, but instead of treating one molecular type at a time, you're doing a million or a billion. That sounds like a miracle, but it is simply the barcode has so many bits of information in it, you just can't confuse it. It's just like barcodes in the supermarket.
This is exciting. The technology is advancing incredibly fast. Our knowledge base is continuously being built upon. Let's talk about some genetic engineering and the future of genetic engineering. Specifically, are we looking at bringing back species?
I'm part of an international group called Revive and Restore that is working on restoring ecosystems that have been damaged by either modern humans or, in some cases, ancient humans. You can read out the ancient DNA into the computer, and then you don't have to recover the entire genome, just the parts that would be helpful to increasing the diversity of modern species so that they can either tolerate the climate change or other environmental changes, fragmentation of their herds, migration paths, and so forth. So you're really building a slight variation on modern species so that they can thrive. And in some cases, restore an ecosystem that is in the best interests of humanity. For example, restoring the grasslands to the Arctic would increase carbon capture and retain the 1,400 gigatons of carbon that could otherwise be released as methane.
I'm really glad you said that, because a lot of times when people talk about genetic engineering and the DNA technology and bringing back extinct species, they're always talking about, or at least in Hollywood, the woolly mammoth, or it's always an animal. But I love the fact that you're talking, no, this is much bigger. This is the ecosystem. This is plant life. This is all kinds of other living forms.
And a cold-resistant elephant could be a part of that solution. They're a keystone species, but it's not just about the endangered elephant species.
Say more about where we really will get to with curing illnesses, especially genetic illnesses. How close are we to identifying a genetic mutation that's causing a serious phenotypic disease in a patient, in our loved ones, and going in there with some genetically engineered tools and fixing that?
We already have effective gene therapies. At least 5 have been approved by the FDA for general use, and many are looking very promising in clinical trials, including in some CRISPR editing for sickle cell anemia and also for retinal diseases. So we might have a handful of gene therapies that are approved, but there are thousands of genetic diseases that can be avoided simply via preconception genetic counseling. So this is much less invasive than either in vitro fertilization or gene therapy. Much less research and development has to be done because it's just one method, which is looking at your genome potential spouses.
So if we look at kind of the genetic ecosystem, on the one side is counseling. That's an education thing. Let's just keep promoting that, getting people to understand that these are options to learn about it and make choices. And then, as you said, it's really exciting that the FDA has approved already, I think you said 5 gene and therapeutics. On that side of it, because there's thousands of diseases, genetically based diseases, how fast do you see that ramping up?
It's not so much we can't find the cures, the cost of getting them through clinical trials will be a burden. Almost all of biomedicine is going exponentially faster. Once you figure out how to do it for one, it's very quick to do it for others. But in general, preventative medicine is cheaper than these expensive therapies. So we need to practice preventative medicine. Even if the companies can't figure out how to make much money on it, we still have to think about it at a governmental and citizen point of view.
Are there other applications that you see this great technology that the average person doesn't hear about or not headlining in the news?
It can also be used for agriculture to make more efficient, tastier vegetables that taste more like meat, say, and provide protection against various serious diseases like vitamin A deficiency in impoverished nations that kill about 1 million people a year. I think that we should have the equivalent of weather maps, I call them bioweather maps, so that we're constantly monitoring emerging of resistance to drugs and vaccines, emergence of diseases from animals, zoonotic diseases that are coming in. We want to be monitoring all potential pathogens, and we should be at least as interested in the morning bioweather map as in the weather map. The weather map prevents us from falling down and breaking our hip, and the bioweather map will stop us from getting allergens and pathogens.
Listen, Dr. Church, it was an absolute pleasure to have you on the show with us today. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Wonderful being here.